All right. Quick little stream, quick show because Manchester United is playing versus Fulham at the Craven Cottage, and we have to talk about a few important facts about this coming game, which is in a few hours. So we're gonna call this the build up. This is the build up. Expect to see the build up throughout the season for most matches in the Premier League. And yeah, this is one of those things where I feel like it's also a good time to talk predicted lineup because at the very moment, nobody really fully knows what Ruben Amorim's full lineup is. My name is Botsona Papi. This is the Football Power Hour match preview. The build up. Here we go. I know it's a crazy time to go live, Brush. Big up yourself for being here. But you know what? It's the build up. Whoever sees it in the morning sees it, and whoever sees it right now sees it right now. I know. I literally was like, I'm about to actually go out to see a friend, and I was like, well, if I don't do this right now, in the morning, I'm not going to feel like doing it because I'll be like, well, I'm going to just do the watch along anyway. So we might as well get into it and talk about what's going to happen in a few hours. Um, first of all, first of all, let's talk about this. Amarim needs to get this win because if you go two games without winning, and it's the first two games of the season, this is when like seeds of doubt start to be planted around, especially the fan base. Not necessarily the players, but the fan base. I feel like it's important to just get this first win for Ruben in this new season. This will help bring unity to the fan base. The Amarim outers are waiting for anything like they could latch on to. Wrap up. Pardon me. I had to cough over there, but yeah. So there's a lot of people that definitely are not wanting, or they're just waiting for it's not necessarily that they don't want Ruben to succeed because they're fans of the club, but they are very, very, very quick to jump on the let's criticize and villainize this manager, and to avoid that, we have to put not just a good performance, but get a good result. And a good result does not mean a draw. A good result means our first points on the board, which is supposed to be 3 points, which needs to be 3 points. What's interesting is that these other teams that played today. We saw Spurs beat Manchester City. So right now, if you look at the table, I think at one point during the day, Spurs was top of the table, and then the Arsenal played, and Arsenal had a resounding victory versus Leeds United, and that's what put them top of the table with 6 goals as a goal difference because they have conceded 0. And so have Spurs yet. They have even conceded a goal yet, and they have already played 2 matches. So 2 clean sheets, really, so early in the season is a good sign for these two teams. Now, will Spurs become a team that could really put on a title charge? I do not think so. I don't think Spurs will even by January they'll be in maybe in the top 6 conversation, but not necessarily in the top 4, top 3 per se. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Doctor in the building, members only. Yeah, you know what? I figured let's do something late, something just this chill, members vibes. The link is in the chat if you want to pull up, but this is definitely going to be less than half an hour. I know it's a ridiculous time right now in the UK, so totally understand if you can't join. But those are some thoughts that I just wanted to go through based on today's games and also looking at the game that we have tomorrow. So yeah, as I was saying, main point to recap, anybody that's just joining in, Amarim needs to win this. He needs to get not just a good performance but a good result. Momentum is very important, especially when you're a new manager. And I was talking about also the games that happened today, looking at Thomas Frank. He's new in the dugout at Spurs, and he's getting a tune out of his players. And Ruben Amorim, really, anybody that is in the Ruben Amorim defense league, if there is any, they will run out of ammunition in terms of defending a manager if Thomas Frank goes, you know, 10 games unbeaten, and then Ruben goes 4 games without a win. Um, by the way, it's very possible for Frank. Side note: it's possible for Thomas Frank, to go 14 games, or even, because I think Ange went 13 games without a loss, if I'm not mistaken, and Nuno Espirito as well had a very good um, um, start to the season. So it's kind of like, you know you do want to look at how teams are starting up, but also you don't want to read too much into it. That's why I quickly shut down the thought of Spurs being title contenders. But yo, if I'm wrong at the end of the season, or let's say by January, I will. I think I'll be wrong on Spurs. Because they gave us a very difficult Europa League game. Let's be real. Also, they gave PSG a very difficult game. So, I don't want to be one of those people that says Spurs is Spurs. It's the history of the Tottenham. Let's be real. That stuff is, at some point it wears off, you know, and you can't always overrule them. Just like PSG, right? We used to just say they don't have Champions League heritage, and look at what happened. They ended up actually putting in a performance, a very good Champions League campaign that saw them win the Champions League for the first time in a resounding way. So, there's always a first time for something, especially in this modern Tottenham Hotspur, for them to like, go on and put a really, really, really good couple of performances in the Premier League and see themselves like in the top, 6, for example. That is a real possibility. But anyway, enough about Spurs. Let's go to Manchester United, because remember, we want to be here for less than half an hour, and we are actually almost halfway there. So the players to watch. Of course, from Fulham side, there's Muniz, who has scored 17 league goals over the past 2 seasons. May not start against United, but he has proven to be a threat off the bench. None of Muniz's first 9 Premier League goals for Fulham were as a substitute, but 7 of his last 9 have come from the bench, the most of any player since the start of last season. So he's that super power, lethal weapon from the bench. Ruben Amorim, what I like about his pressers nowadays, he started talking about it's not just about who starts. Sometimes it's about who finishes the game. He's planning for that. And to be honest, Fulham know how to have this to call on Muniz, and he's been reliable for at least 9 times as a substitute. That says something. That's that super sub. That's the Operation Muniz activate. Now let's hope Marco Silva is not able to launch Operation Muniz. Let's see. Also for Manchester United, obviously Bruno Fernandes is our star man, but I think I am looking forward to seeing Cunha's performance. I think this is a match where Cunha or Mbuma is going to get a goal. It's also highly possible that Mason Mount will get a goal. This is one of those ones that I can't call. I feel like we're going to have a very difficult start to the game, but eventually we'll crack Fulham open and have more than a 2-goal margin. That's my goal match scoreline prediction. The computers say Manchester United have a 44.1% win probability. That's the Opta win probability right there. So yeah, all fingers are pointing towards Manchester United winning. United have won just 3 of their last 23 Premier League away games against London sides, though all 3 of these victories have come against Fulham. So Fulham is our not even Fulham is our side dish. Get your mind out the gutter. I know what you were thinking, and I will not name you. But like, you know what? Fulham is our side dish. It's our fries on the side. So we really, really and as we spoke earlier on, we beat them twice last season, 1-0 score line. Lisandro Martinez and Joshua Zirkzee on both occasions showing up for United. So this time around, I feel like we will beat them with more than just a goal. I feel like it's going to be at least a 2-goal margin type of game. The other thing that is also important to consider is that United lost that opening Premier League game of the season against Arsenal, the only season where they've lost their first 2 games are 92-93, eventually finished first, and 2022 to 23, and we came third in that season. So Marco Silva, meanwhile, has lost 7 of his 10 Premier League matches against United. Jeez, he just knows when United come through, you gotta give it up, with or without the baby oil. So United, he's only on home soil, he's lost 4 out of 5 against Manchester United, Marco Silva, right? And with the other a 4-0 win as Everton boss in April 2019. So yeah, Fulham ended last season on a run of 3 consecutive home Premier League defeats. Last season, losing more in a row than than when they lost their final 6 home games in 2020, 2021, being relegated to the Championship. So Silva has never previously lost 4 consecutive home league games in his entire managerial career. So history will be made either way in a few hours. I can't wait. I will be there for the watch along, and it's going to be electrifying. I feel like we're going to win. I really, really, really strongly feel like we're going to win. Let me just quickly see at how the people that predicted we are playing a predictions game, by the way. It's just game 2 of 38. It's still not too late for you to join in, and if you want to play, I encourage you to do so. I'm just going to quickly share with you right now. Drex is leading that game with 9 points, but obviously after match game week 2 concludes, we're going to update that. But I want to quickly just look at the predictions before I give my score prediction. I want to look at different people in this community, what they predicted. Mitch predicted that we will win 2-1 versus Fulham. Shay believes that we will win 4-2. And Drex believes we will win 3-0. I'll take a clean sheet, Drex. He's the one that's leading the table, and he predicted a 3-0. That would be nice, It depends who the goalkeeper is. Who are you starting? Let's actually do this. Because I hear Onana has traveled with the squad. Onana will be looking to start. But do you punish? Do you punish Bayende for that one mistake and say, sit down, give the gloves to Andre? Or do you give him another chance? Because let's be real, it was just one little moment, where the wrist was just flimsy, but the rest, the distribution was good. Let's not forget that. The composure was there. It was just that one moment. It'll be interesting to see what Pep Guardiola does with James Trafford. because James Trafford had a howler. And, well, he, like, because Edison is also there in a little bit of a limbo situation where if Edison leaves, and I think Edison might go to Saudi Arabia, if Edison leaves, that's when Donnarumma is going to come to Man City. But if Edison doesn't leave, then, James Trafford is going to have to sit down. But the question is, when will that happen? The transfer window will still be open by the time Man City. Who's City playing next? Let's see. Manchete. They're playing Brighton. Hey, that's gonna be at the Amex Stadium too. Brighton is gonna be a good test because Brighton, they're very, very good team. So I am very, very interested to see how that's gonna go. Brighton haven't lost yet. They've drawn that first game, and yeah, this is gonna be interesting to see. What happens with the goalkeeper situation at that time. But yeah, tomorrow Brighton will be at Goodison Park, and they'll probably win that. Yeah. Shout out to Stephanie who says, I can't believe I'm still awake. I voted Bayern there. Really, Stephanie? You gonna vote Altai? Wow. No love for Andre, huh? Wait till Andre silences you guys. It's funny because this is crazy. Earlier on, we had a poll about who do we think is better, Emi Martinez or Onana, and people went Onana. 67% at the end of the poll, or around 67% said Onana. And now it's between Onana and Bayende, and everybody's going, start Bayende. Don't think about Andre. More than 5 people were voted already, and it's 100% Bayende. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what Ruben Amorim goes with. Onana silence from the bench, says KJ. Yeah. if if this goalkeeper situation pulls through and we get Lamens, it'll be interesting to see what the effect of that on Onana is going to be. Will he fumble? Will he upgrade to a higher level? And I think if we get him in the goalkeeper position, we'll be eating good. If you're somebody that wonders how they compare, by the way, Lamens and Onana, rest assured, it's a major upgrade on all sides of the matrix, fam. Somebody said that the other day. It says on all sides of the matrix. But anyway, he beats Lamens beats Onana by every metric. That's what I wanted to say. But you can see the save percentage is just night and day. 90% for Lamens and 39 for Onana. Sure, you can say he's in the Belgian league, but hey, you can only play in the league you're in. This is really good. Incredible upgrade. If we get Lamens, we're eating good. We can even say we're the dark horse. That's red-ish because we're the Red Devils. We're the red dark horse if we get Lamens. Write this down. Honestly speaking, Onana has a new role now. Cameroonian recruitment specialist. Get us the best talent in Cameroon, Andre. That's all we're going to ask from you. But this doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that the blue is Lamens and the pink is Kit Kat conjunctivitis Onana. Mr. Kit Kat fingers. And you can tell He's a better man in every aspect of being a man on the pitch. What are they? Goalkeeper interceptions. That's crazy. I think this is probably like claiming the crosses. That's the only moments where I would expect a goalkeeper to be intercepting a ball. Maybe also coming out as a sweeper, but I think claiming crosses, that's interceptions. Aerials one. It's gotta be something similar. Save percentage is the thing that just looks crazy. Yeah. Anyway, get lamens and we'll be eating good. But for tomorrow, it looks like everybody is saying Bande should start. And I think what is Andre gonna do? Start in the Carabao Cup game? Let's be real, actually he hasn't played in a long time, He didn't play a minute of pre-season. Did he play any preseason game? I don't remember Onana in preseason. I think the hamstring injury happened right before. But either way, okay, Andre Onana in goal. That's the first one in the predicted lineup. All right, and then who else? Let's go really quickly. I think Delict should continue in the central center back position. Let's do this quick little lineup builder. Boom. All right, here we go. Oh yeah. Thank you, Doctor. He didn't play a single match, right, of preseason. Yeah. First of all, let's change this kit color. Looks just like the Arsenal. All right. Can we get a different something like that? I don't know. All right. Boom. Where is three? There we go. That's the wing backs right there. That's the number 10s. All right. We got Bayern in goal. Predicted lineup. Delict has to continue the good doing the Lord's work in the center. I think also Lenny has to continue. He hasn't put a foot wrong. And over here, it has to Shorbeto. And then over here, Dorgu has to continue doing the Lord's work. Over here on right wing back, it has to be. I really want Ruben Amorim to start Ahmad, but will he? I think he's gonna start Dalo again. And then in the middle, Casemiro has had enough rest. You might as well get Casemiro back on. And he's going to do the thing that I don't like, putting Bruno here when Bruno should be more advanced. Let's be real. Guys, don't forget to hit the like button, by the way. Big up to AK in the building. We're talking about how we're going to massacre Fulham tomorrow. And you know what? Even though Mason Mount started and had a really good game, please, Ruben, please, this is the time. This is the time to unleash. Unleash the Ben. Big Ben. Boom. We got Big Ben up front. Cunha, Mbumo, Casemiro, Bruno, Dalo, Dorgu, Shorbeto, Delict, Lenny Euro, and Bayern. Who's going to stop this team? Not Fulham. This right here, this team right here. Look at, you know what's crazy? Bayern can actually put in a master class and have that 3-0 that who was predicting the 3-0? It was Drex, 3-0 that Drex predicted. Kenny Fan TV went with 3-1. Mark N went with 4-1. Vegeta went with 2-1. Stephanie went with 4-1. All right. Luen went with 2-1. And Dr. NHS went with 3-0, just like Drex. And I believe I went with, I'll say my prediction right at the end. And yeah, somebody else already stole my prediction. But you know what? Yeah, I think we're going to rejoice tomorrow. It's going to be a good day. That's my predicted lineup. Tell me if there's anybody that you don't think should be in there. AK4 Pizza Shelberto. Yeah, buddy. Shelberto is going to be doing things tomorrow. He's so calm with the ball. As long as he can stay fit, he'll be good. And you know what might happen? Let me give you the predicted play by play or goal by goal scenario. We're going to be attacking. We lose the ball. I think it might be Bruno that loses the ball. And then Fulham is on the break. Iwobi will be on the break. Now, Iwobi thinks he's gone, and then Lenny Euro goes, come back. You can pass, but the ball shall not pass. And then Lenny Euro is going to feed the ball quickly to Casemiro. Casemiro is going to feed the ball quickly to Brian Mbeumo. Just when Anderson or whatever his name is, Leno, he's going to think that, oh, Mbeumo is going to pass the ball to Benjamin Sesko. Mbeumo is going to find the back of the net first. And it's going to be 1-0 United. And then the linesman is going to say, no, Mbeumo was offside. But then VAR is going to say, nah, he was onside. and then listen. And then Muniz will come off the bench and get his customary, super sub bench. Rodrigo Muniz goal. And after that, Big Ben will get a goal. Once Big Ben gets his goal, it's going to be another goal from Cunha, and then Dorgu will get another goal, and then we'll end the day with 4-1. That is my prediction. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. That is the play-by-play prediction, goal-by-goal prediction. And you heard my goal scorers. You know what? You can run me my money later. I think Man deserves to stay in the side. I would try him at right wing back instead of Dallo. He has played right winger. He is defensively proactive. Stephanie?
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing.
I can see what you're doing. You're cooking something there. But I think it'll more be Ahmad before Mason Mount can be on right wing back, to be fair. So it's gonna be Dallo to start. Unless he really doesn't rate Iwobi and Sessegnon, and he's like says, listen, Ahmad, go, because Lenny Euro can handle them. But I think because Casemiro will be playing on the right hand side, closer to Lenny Euro and operating on that, and Mbeumo, he needs somebody that will probably be more thinking defensively. And I'm not even suggesting that Dallo is better than Ahmad defensively. I think Ahmad actually puts a shift in defensively, and he deserves his flowers. But Dallo will obviously be thinking more defense than attack. and Ahmad will be wanting to eager to get into the channels and get in Mbomo's way. But hopefully that don't happen, and we're gonna see the 4-1 scoreline that I predicted. Big up yourself. My name is Botswana. Thank you for being here, and thank you for hitting the like button and subscribing and all that good stuff. And yeah, see you in a few hours when Fulham welcomes Manchester United. Oh boy.
Them dead, them dead, them dead, them dead, them.
We will be there. We will be there.
Yes, Stephanie, you're right.